everybody, it's Allie, and welcome to our Y&R Chat for Sunday, February 24th, 2019. I cannot believe that Rey betrayed and then arrested Sharon. But, okay, that whole tender moment where he was clicking on the cuffs was both heartbreaking and also a little bit hot at the same time. I'm not gonna lie. I was like, okay, Rey, you can put me in handcuffs, haul me down to prison any day of the week. Ooh, I was like, click, click, flutter, flutter. Fun, fun. Well, after Mia called out Arturo's name while she was making love with Rey, top 10 ways to end a marriage, right? Calling out someone else's name in bed. Rey gets furious with Mia and goes straight to Sharon. I'm sure in the back of his mind he was waiting for Mia to do something to screw up their marriage so that he could run straight to Sharon and confess his love for her. He tells her that he loves her. He can't hide it anymore. She tries to resist, but then she confesses her love for him too. And I'm thinking that we're about to see Rey go back home, divorce Sharon, or divorce Mia, move in with Sharon. I am picturing family dinners with Rey and Sharon and Faith right around the dining room table, everybody eating Sharon's famous meatloaf. But then Rey is sitting in Sharon's living room. They're about ready to talk about how they're gonna move forward with their relationship and their life. He's sitting on the couch waiting for a cup of tea that she's off making in the kitchen, and he comes across an old phone bill. Sharon's been doing her taxes. She apparently itemizes, and she's got her old phone bill, which happens to be from the night of JT's death, sitting on the table, and Rey looks at it, sees that Sharon called 911 on the night of JT's murder. That's not suspicious. He starts to question her as soon as she comes back into the room, and I think she's just feeling so vulnerable from having their love confession that she decides to then confess everything to Rey about JT. She tells him the entire story, step by step, exactly what happened. I really, truly thought for sure that we would be headed down a path right now, by now, where Rey would be helping Sharon cover up the truth about JT's murder, not hauling her down to the station for mugshots. But then we got that really cool slow-mo shot of all of the Margarita crew, one by one, getting arrested at all of their individual homes, the cops showing up and watching them get hauled away down to prison. We also got the glamorous mugshots of Sharon, Victoria, and Phyllis. I really wanted to do a midweek poll to ask who had the best mugshot. Feel free to weigh on that. I mean, those mugshots everybody looked really good, even though it was a mugshot. I really enjoyed seeing that. I really enjoyed seeing everyone get isolated and questioned one by one about what happened. And everyone is sticking to the plan for the most part. Everyone is skirting the truth until it comes around to Phyllis. Phyllis decides to go over Rey's head. So I don't even want to talk to you, detective. Phyllis asks to speak directly to her arch nemesis, who also happens to be the DA, Christine Williams. This was a great series of scenes. Whether you know the history of these two characters or not, that was fiery. That was tense. I loved seeing Christine and Phyllis in the room together, going head to head. The fact that Y&R played it that way, I think really played well on the history of these two characters. Phyllis was showing that she knows who she's dealing with. She knows exactly what Chris wants. And Phyllis knows exactly how she's going to get herself out of this. A plea deal. In exchange for full immunity, Phyllis gives Chris everything. The entire story of what happened to JT. And she gives Christine the evidence supporting her story. The fireplace poker, the clothes that were laid out on Nikki's bed, and the surveillance tape that shows all three of the women dragging JT's body into the trunk of the car. Oh, I mean, it was such a huge betrayal. Phyllis's confidence and cockiness, though, as she was telling that story to Christine and flipping through the plea deal before she did it to make sure she was getting exactly what she wanted, it was incredible. I mean, you know that Phyllis was planning to make this plea deal all along. How many nights did she lie awake in her bed knowing that if she had to do this, this is exactly what she was going to do, that this was going to be her last resort. This was going to be her plan Z for saving herself if she had to. Do you remember all of that talk in the beginning when JT first went down about the weak link? Who's the weak link gonna be? Will it be Sharon? It's gotta be Sharon. Will it be Victoria? Who's gonna be the weak link that's gonna tell our story? Well, I never thought in a million years that it would be Phyllis. I really enjoyed the triple trial. Nikki and Sharon and Victoria entering in their not guilty pleas. Everybody wondering why Phyllis isn't there. Phyllis is showing up suspiciously late to the trial until she actually does get there, and she's not sitting at the defendant's table with the other ladies. She's just sitting freely in the back of the court as if she's a spectator. But oh no, Phyllis is not just a spectator. Shocking twist, Phyllis is going to be the DA's star witness. Phyllis is going to be testifying against the other three ladies. Oh, it is going to be real fun to watch Phyllis trying to explain her way out of this with Nick. And then it's also going to be real fun to watch Nick run off to the rescue of his mom and his sister, and ding, 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 Sharon. You know Nick is gonna go running right back to Sharon. We saw in the previews for next week that he's gonna kick Phyllis out of the house. He's gonna run right in there and try to rebuild his life with Sharon. That's what he wanted to do 2 weeks ago. I mean, all the women got denied bail, so I'm imagining that we're gonna see Phyllis on the stand telling the whole story to everyone, and the only way out of this I can see is somebody catching JT and hauling him into the middle of the trial, proving that he's not dead, and then everybody gets off the hook. But it's not gonna help Phyllis repair her relationship with Nick or her reputation in Genoa City. Everybody was jumping on her. Victor was jumping on her. Billy was jumping on her. Everybody was wagging their fingers at Phyllis as if she committed the ultimate sin. But here's the thing. Phyllis sees herself as the savior, not the snitch. I mean, yes, she just so happens to be saving her own hide in the process, but I think that Phyllis really believes that she is the one who's going to get them out of this mess, that she is the one who can tell the story most effectively and spin it in everyone's favor. So what do you think? Are you guys mad at Phyllis right now? I don't feel mad at her. I feel like I'm supposed to, because I know that she's rolling over on the women and it is a betrayal, but the drama, the interpersonal drama and the delivery by Gina Tognoni, it's been really good. I'm having a hard time being mad at it. But maybe you are. I don't know. You tell me. That's our poll question for this week. Are you looking at Phyllis like she is more of a savior or more of a snitch? Are you on Phyllis's side, that she's doing what she had to do? Or are you seeing this as a total betrayal? YRChat.com, that's the website if you want to get your vote in on that poll. Phyllis, savior or snitch? Rey Rosales has some taste in women. I think Rey just must like bad girls. I mean, his wife and his girlfriend are criminals. Well, Mia's Valentine's Day fight with Abby was kind of a great fight. Mia grabbed Abby's hair and yanked her down in her face in a very real, sort of street fight kind of way. In soap operas, we always see a lot of, you know, hair flying around and and it's very flimsy. But Mia grabbed Abby in by the back of her hair, and there was just something about that. I saw Mia as a real scrapper. I saw Mia as a real girl, and I had to tell you, I thought that was a really, really great and unique cat fight. Abby didn't have much by way of punch, but Abby sure knew how to cut Mia down deep where it hurt with her words. And she also ripped Mia's necklace right off her neck and got her thrown out of the athletic club. So it was a good fight. Mia goes home. She's already been drinking, and she grabs a bottle of tequila and starts swigging back a few more. And she's so angry and so furious with Abby that she goes to the Abbott mansion to attack Abby. She sneaks up behind her, whacks her over the head. The only problem is, it's not Abby. Mia thinks that she hit Abby, but who she really hit was Lola, her sister-in-law, her own sister-in-law, who just so happened to be wearing Abby's big, warm, ugly coat. Whoopsie! Hit the wrong person. Do you guys think that Y&R was always planning to use that coat as a plot device? Because it did seem so jarring to me when Arturo gave it to Abby for Christmas. A parka pales in comparison to the diamonds and furs that Victor was given to Nikki 30 years ago. So we have the coat as evidence, and bad luck for Mia, her earring also happened to fly off at the scene of the crime. Crap. I hope that the GCPD doesn't find that, but we all know they will. Rey has been officially unassigned from Lola's assault case, but he has a friend at the GCPD who is willing to feed him little bits of evidence, and Rey's gonna find this out. Rey has a personal reason to find this out, and I think he's gonna. We saw a little bit of a preview on Friday where Rey is arresting Mia, but I think that's her imagination. I think that's her dream. But I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility. If Rey was willing to oh so tenderly click those cuffs onto his girlfriend's wrists, then you better believe that he's willing to do it on his cheating wife. Lola's splash into the pool was very, very dramatic. She was again changing her mind about Kyle. She was showing up at the Abbott mansion to apologize for breaking up with him when a pair of black high-heeled boots comes up behind her, whacks her over the head. Lola is so disoriented that she first drops down to her knees and then boom, falls over into the pool. We saw this great close-up of her face underwater. I really enjoyed that, and the music was timed perfectly for what was going on in the scene. It was very good. And of course her hero, Kyle, comes along just in time to pull her out before she drowns. He calls the paramedics, gets her to the hospital in critical condition, which is where she still is today. But Arturo and Rey are being really hard on Kyle. They are kicking into protective brother mode. They won't even let Kyle see Lola, and Arturo seems particularly like he's coming unhinged over it. Arturo wants to kick Kyle out of the hospital, out of Lola's life, and he had this whole spiel early in the week, getting very high and mighty when talking to Kyle, telling him that if Kyle really loved Lola, then he would never have put himself into a position where he could be seen kissing another woman. Seriously? You are projecting here, Arturo. That is a complete and total projection. I mean, you did the exact same thing 3 weeks ago when you were kissing Mia after fixing her furnace. Oh, but that's right. Your girlfriend, I mean your fiance, Abby, doesn't know about that yet. So what's up with Arturo? He's got this temper. I think we're just starting to see flickers of a darker Arturo. The way he pounced on Summer, calling her in public a cold-hearted bitch. I'm not saying he's wrong, and I'm not saying he's wrong to have those feelings and that perspective, and I totally understand his concern and protectiveness of his sister. I'm just wondering if what we're starting to see is an unraveling of Arturo and his personality for a specific reason. Like, is Arturo about to do something rash that will destroy his life and maybe even his relationship with Abby all at once? This is going to be an unpopular opinion, I'm sure. Summer's not totally at fault for everything that's gone down between Kyle and Lola. Kyle wasn't exactly kind or considerate to Summer when Lola caught them together at the Abbott cabin. Yes, Summer followed him up there. Yes, Summer was aggressive, but no one forced Kyle to make out with Summer. When Lola saw, peering through the window, Kyle and Summer kissing, that was a result of Kyle's own actions. I'm wondering if maybe Lola should have just trusted her instincts and stayed broken up with Kyle for the 6th time. Maybe she was right to not fully trust him. Lola's eyes didn't lie. Kyle was kissing Summer. And that wasn't all just Summer's black magic. It was Kyle's doing too. Now, Summer did not do him any favors. When Lola confronted them, Summer pretty much intentionally fanned the flames, tried to make it look like there was more going on between them, like it was some romantic thing that was about to develop into sex. And Summer did play on Lola's insecurities about her virginity and their sexual relationship. But I also think that maybe Summer was retaliating against Kyle and lashing out against Kyle because Kyle tossed Summer aside like a rag doll the second that Lola walked through the door. It was kind of cruel, and I know that Summer is a bad girl, but it's not as if she doesn't have some feelings too. And then Kyle accused Summer of being the one who attacked Lola. The fun part is, though, the part I really know that I'm going to enjoy is the fact that Rey kind of believes that Summer attacked Lola now, too. I kind of love that Summer is a suspect in Lola's attack because we as the audience know that it isn't true. So we just get to appreciate seeing Summer squirm over it. I mean, Summer made herself an enemy all on her own to her own detriment. On Friday, Summer confronted Kyle for painting her in a very unflattering light to the police, to Rey, when Rey questioned him. And Kyle didn't mean to make Summer a suspect, but Summer's life is not Kyle's priority right now. Lola is fighting for her life in the hospital, and that's Kyle's priority. That's the woman that he wants to be with. That's the woman that he's in love with. But Summer confesses that she is in love with him. The way that Kyle is fighting for Lola right now is the way that Summer sees herself as fighting for Kyle, the man that she loves. I know that Summer has a very funny way of showing a guy that she loves him, but Hadley, I think that she does. I think she's being sincere in saying that she loves Kyle. I don't think it's just that she wants Lola to not have him. I think she does love him. These two characters have quite a history, and Summer is so much better suited to him, in my opinion. All of Kyle's relationships are on again, off again. He and Summer have hurt each other, they've broken up, they've made up, and Lola's the same story, so there's no difference there. But at least Summer isn't asking Kyle to change who he is or to become someone that he's not. I think the thing that I'm not loving about Kyle and Lola is the fact that the relationship has tempered Kyle. He doesn't do anything except for tiptoe around her and then beg for her forgiveness after he screws up. And I don't know, it's making me sort of miss devious Kyle, the one who was vying for the top spot at Jabot. And I'm hoping that the previews we saw for next week, where Jack is telling everyone that it's time to get Jabot back into the hands of the Abbott family, I hope that that means that Jack and Billy and Kyle are gonna stage some kind of exciting coup. Devon had another panic attack this week, and it makes complete sense to me. The moment that I saw Lola's hospital room, the first thing I thought about was Hillary. It looked exactly like when we last saw Hillary on her deathbed, and we have Nate walking around with his little clipboard. I can completely see why Devon had a meltdown. He wanted to be there to support someone in need, wanting to be there to show Lola that he cares about her, and Anna too, asked him to go. But Devon was standing right there in front of this flood of his own fear and pain and loss. loss and everything that he's gone through, and it just overwhelmed him. It just drowned him in that moment. And Anna and Nate were able to help him get his medication and help him at least bring himself back up to the surface again. When Devon walked into that room, though, and started talking to Lola, in essence confronting his own fears, telling Lola to come back to us, it kind of reminded me of the way that Catherine would walk into a hospital room and demand the person to recover. I mean, Devon's not the same personality as Catherine, but there was just, for some reason, I'm sure it's for a very reasonable reason, I was thinking of Catherine this week and remembering that Devon is her grandson. And I don't know, I think Devon has this very quiet but commanding presence that I've really come to appreciate over the years. And on the bright side, Anna does a really good job of pulling his fun side out of him. Anna and Devon are really refreshing. I like him trying to pull her out of her shell and convince her to sing again professionally, and I liked her singing her response to him to stay out of her business. She's really funny. And I also have to note that the actress is really, really gorgeous. I mean, she is absolutely stunning. And this week, seeing her talking to him and encouraging him to go see Lola, I just also, I don't know, I got these hints of Anna having a very sexy, cool vibe that I think we'll end up seeing more of in the future. Just this week, seeing her hanging out with Devon and supporting him, I'm seeing exactly why she was cast, and I'm looking forward to seeing more of her. I see the same thing in Nate. To be honest with you, if only Y&R would give him something good to do. Nikki's life story was pretty much better than Christmas and Easter and Halloween and Thanksgiving all rolled into one pie. I was not expecting that episode on Wednesday. And when I got it, it was like I was receiving something I didn't even know I needed. I wish Y&R would do this for all of its legacy characters at least once a year. I think it's also worth noting that Mal Young was still credited as the writer of that episode, and it was excellent. Nikki was in jail writing a totally inappropriate letter to her grandchildren. Like, what grandmother feels the need to be this candid about her life to her grandkids? They should have just called it Nikki Writes Her Life Story. Nikki decides to write her autobiography. She should have left the grandkids out of it because that part was weird. But, I mean, all of the photos, all of the videos, all of the flashbacks, the photo album. I mean, I'm dying with how good it was. I'm downloading that episode and I'm saving it because it was not only amazing for Nikki and the character of Nikki, but there were so many other people that we got to see. Nikki was talking about her childhood and the abuse that her sister suffered and that she ended up suffering, and we saw these flashbacks of Casey, who I always thought that Casey was so beautiful. I loved Nikki's sister Casey. I never had seen the scene of Nikki walking out with blood on her, having killed her father. I always know that she killed her own father, but I had never seen that scene. Y&R dug into the vault to get these clips. Somebody went through, they had to go back through and probably master it too. I mean, those scenes are old. They probably had to do some work to format that for current film and broadcast standards, but it was amazing. We got to see these scenes of Nikki's wild child days with Paul in the showers. We got to see her talking about how she joined a cult, which, oh, I bet that was such a great storyline at the time. Just Nikki talking about how, oh, these are really nice people. No, they're giving me food. And that was, I mean, it was kind of, it was an in the front of the stories type of story at the time. It was in the news. Cults. I don't know. I'm kind of fascinated with cults. So I think I would have really enjoyed watching that story. We know that Nikki was a stripper. Okay, we all know that Nikki was a stripper, but they showed some frames of her doing her dancing that I'd never seen before. I mean, of course, we've seen the scene where Victor is looking at her, Douglas sitting right by him, you know, seeing the love of his life for the very first time, and her seeing him and them falling in love, and Nikki falling in love many, many times. I mean, I am telling you, probably, I don't know, I'm gonna say probably the single most greatest moment of that episode was hearing Nikki say her full name with all of her marriages. I wrote it down. I'm gonna read it to you. Nikki's official name is Nikki Reed Foster Bancroft Newman Abbott Landers Newman Chow Sharp Abbott Newman. Thank you, take a bow. Just take the damn bow. I mean, that alone was so great that somebody went back into time, did that research, and gave us her official name. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Ugh. I mean, the flashbacks of Nikki and Victor's romance were so incredible because, again, there were some scenes that I had not seen before. I think Y&R goes through, they find some, and then they pop those same ones in there. Those are the classics. But they dusted off some new Victor and Nikki scenes that I had not seen before from their many marriages. They also talked about her many friendships, her relationship with her children. We saw the flashback of Nick in his vest, in his sleeveless and a vest. That is fashion right there. We saw Amelia Heinle when she first was cast as Victoria, and I thought that Y&R tied in perfectly Nikki's desire to protect Victoria from JT into what landed her in prison today. I mean, that tie-in made sense. It was so good. I got so many screen caps. I literally uploaded dozens of screen caps to the website. So many that I had to create its own post for them. If you want to flip back through them, I got screen caps of that photo album, of the flashbacks. I mean, that's all I did. That whole night I just sat and I devoted myself to screen caps because there were so many that were good. And I think the flashbacks of Catherine were my favorite. Catherine coaching Nikki on how to make love to Victor, how to seduce Victor. It was coy. It was beyond. It was just beyond. I miss Catherine so much, and just seeing her, even before I was watching the show, I'm captivated by her. That woman had presence and personality that was just unmatched, and it's just so missed. It was also interesting to go back and see Nikki's alcoholism. That's been a theme through the years, and I mean, they really tied that in through her lifetime, and they even took that back to her issues with her father. Her father was an alcoholic, and so she was, saying in the letter voiceover that she wonders if her issues with alcohol were tied back to her father. I mean, it was deep. Ugh. What an episode. And what a life. Nikki Reed, Foster Bancroft Newman, Abbott Landers Newman, Chow Sharp, Abbott Newman. What a life. What a fictional life. I swim in a sea of crazy. That was our Who Said It quote from 2 weeks ago. The answer was Michael Baldwin. Michael was talking to Nick. Nick was describing the crazy story of how Katie got lost in the walls, and Michael said, "It's okay, I swim in a sea of crazy." Kind of a funny little line, which only 3 people guessed correctly. It was Henry, Ambreen, and Keisha. You guys all got it right. I didn't pick a Who Said It quote this week. I've been swimming in my own sea of crazy. I moved. As I think most of you guys know, I didn't have a chance to do a Y&R chat last Sunday. It would have been impossible. It was so hectic. Moving is never fun. It is always harder and more than you think it's gonna be, but I am in my home right now. And it really is incredible. I feel so good here. It's just, what a relief. I haven't totally decided where the permanent Y&R chat location will be. Right now I'm sitting at my dining room table. I'm hoping that the acoustics will be good for the podcast and also that the visual is all right for the video. But I have one other spot that I think I could make work and maybe even decorate as a dedicated Y&R chat space, but it's gonna take me a little bit to get there. It's taken everything I've got just to make sure I've got clean underwear and a coffee mug. Those are the basics, the essentials. Clean underwear and a coffee mug. Everything else is just frosting on the cake. The things I need to survive, only 2 of them. And Y&R. Y&R. I've watched every single episode. I got behind on Y&R chat, but I was caught up on all the episodes. I think I only wasn't able to actually watch an episode maybe for 2 days. So I got completely caught up pretty quickly. It was killing me though, thinking that there was all these things that happened Valentine's week that I wasn't gonna be able to talk about. I'm just glad that JT didn't show back up. I mean, everybody got arrested while I was gone, but at least JT didn't show up alive. I would have been ticked to have not been able to talk about that with you. I think it's coming though. I really think it's coming. Normally I also would have gotten your comments collated and talked about that at this point in Y&R chat, but I didn't have time to do that. I'm still just trying to figure out how to operate. Like, it took me a while just to get a garbage can in every room, just like you know what I mean? It's like there's just so many little things that you get thrown off of your routine for, and I just did not have time this past week. I'm hoping it'll get easier. It might be another couple weeks before I have a chance to collate comments and do the full Y&R chat in the way that I normally would, but I at least wanted to check in and let you guys know that I'm alive and still watching the show. It seems like there was something else I wanted to say, and I'm probably not going to remember it now, but I hope you do still go to the website at yrchat.com, because I do check in there daily and try to respond to comments as soon as I can. So, what else? I think that's it. It's gonna be back. And I love you guys, and I think I will probably see you and you'll see me next week. So everybody take care, have a good week. Bye.